Greetings and salutations all, I.S. Anderson here once again, and it's mythology time! Yay! Today's subject will be from Greek mythology, and before I get into the main subject, I'd like to talk a little bit about the god Zeus. Now, as many of you know, Zeus was the king of the Olympians. He was the god of the sky, he used lightning bolts, and he led the Olympic gods against the Titans and defeated them and imprisoned them. And a lot of you also know that he was what a lot of us today like to call a man-whore. Yes, Zeus certainly was into the ladies, and there's a lot of stories about the results of those little gallivants that he had. You know, namely Perseus, Hercules, Helen of Troy, that's just to name a few. Zeus, he was also into bestiality. He didn't like to go out and have sex with animals per se, but he liked to turn himself into animals in order to have sex with women. I don't know, is it still bestiality if the animal rapes the human? So Zeus was into the ladies and he was into animals to an extent, but did it end there? Nope. Zeus was into the young man as well. Yes, Zeus would literally fuck anything. And we learn of this in the story of Ganymedes. Now Ganymedes, he had a humble background. He was pretty much the son of a goat herder, for lack of a better term. But he was described by Homer as one of the most beautiful mortals on earth. And Zeus took notice of that. And what did Zeus do when he saw this beautiful young man? Why, he abducted him, of course. Now, there's a few different accounts about how this occurred, actually. One tale has Zeus turning himself into an eagle and going down himself and capturing Ganymedes and taking him up to Olympus. Another has him owning the eagle and he sends it out to capture him and brings him to Olympus. And then there's another tale where a whirlwind comes and takes him to Olympus. Now, a whirlwind sounds like something Zeus could do. He did have power over the sky, so I guess it's conceivable he could send winds to pick him up and bring him to Olympus. But that doesn't really seem like his style, and besides, there's a lot of paintings that depict this myth, and I never saw any of them with a whirlwind, so I'm going to discount that. Now, as far as him sending out an eagle, that doesn't seem like his style either. Zeus, he liked to take an active role in his seductions, or abductions, I should say, in this case. So I'm going to go with he turned himself into an eagle because that seems the most Zeus. Now, Ganymedes, he had a father named Tros, T-R-O-S, and they lived a little bit close to Troy. And a lot of people think that Troy's name actually came from Tros, although that didn't seem like a city would name itself after a commoner. Now, it's said that Tros was actually so distraught over losing his son that Zeus actually compensated him by sending him a sacred herd of horses. Not flying horses, but just some good horses. And there's mention of this actually in the Iliad. So Zeus brought Ganymedes up to Olympus, where not only was he Zeus's lover, but Zeus made him a cupbearer, which is basically, you know, an overglorified waiter, but apparently that was a very distinct honor back in those days. Interesting enough, the cupbearer before Ganymedes was actually Hebe, the wife of Hercules. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, what about Hera? Didn't she have anything to say about this? She wasn't pleased about it. However, there's no tale I've seen actually goes a little bit more into it than that. So basically, it was just Hera was not pleased about it, but she didn't really seem to do anything about it because she was probably thinking, well, hey, at least this is a guy who won't get many more kids out there. Plus, this seems to be a myth that takes on later in the Greek timeline, so she was probably used to it by then. So not only did Ganymedes get to be Zeus's new cupbearer, but he also got to be eternally young and immortal, so that was a pretty good deal. Plus, Zeus also put him up in the sky as a constellation. Yes, and which constellation is that, you may be wondering? Aquarius. Yes, so if you are an Aquarius, you have Ganymedes to thank for your zodiacal sign. That's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed that. And as always, please leave comments down below and, let me know if there's anything you'd like me to cover in Mythology Time. Please comment, rate, subscribe. You know the drill. And until we see each other next time, this is I.S. Anderson telling everybody, make your lives grand and have a good day. Thank you very much.